It's already April and the weather is so bad, so I'm wearing floral and a flower crown to have a bit of that spring feeling. I really want spring to be here. Hi guys, it's Sarah and welcome to Books for Tea. Today I want to talk about the books I read in March. I read 6 books in total, 3 of them were actual novels and 2 of them were comic books and 1 was a children's book. So let's just get right to it. The first books I finished were 2 comic book collections, and the first one was Adulthood is a Myth by Sarah Scribbles or Sarah Anderson, and she just does this really awesome cute little comics about her life, about growing up, about sort of becoming an adult but not really being one. And she usually uploads her comics on Facebook, and I've been reading them for years and I just always relate to them so much. It feels like she literally writes and draws about my life and I absolutely adore it. So I just had to get this book when it came out. It was one of my most anticipated releases because I just love her so much. And yeah, this is basically a collection of comics she did over the years, as well as some new ones that I didn't know before, and I just really love everything about them. And the sweater actually has some kind of fur as well as the title over here, so it's really fuzzy and nice, and I really love that. So yeah, it's a bit expensive for these just comic collections, but I just really adore her and I wanted to support her, so I don't mind paying that much. Eventually I rated this one 4.5 stars. It's really funny and really great. The next book I got and read in the same day is also a comic book, and it's called Soppy by Philippa Rice, and I absolutely love this one as well. This one isn't just a collection, it actually tells a story. It does it without using any words, it's just all the pictures, and everything in this book is this black, red and white color scheme, and I really love that. And it basically tells the story of these 2 people who started dating and they moved together, worked together, and it shows us parts of their daily lives, and it was just absolutely cute and adorable. And it reminded me of me and my boyfriend. It was such a cute thing to read, and I also rated it 4.5 stars, and it's really great. So next is the first actual novel that I finished, and it's a German book. It's called Anders frei als du by Christine Feher. The title basically translates to differently free than you are, and it's about a girl who becomes a Muslim, and about her struggles. She lives in Berlin, and there are a lot of Muslims, but still many of the people from Germany, they don't really get it and they have a lot of prejudice. So the girl in this one, Marlina, she has to deal with a lot of hate from other people when she decides that she wants to become a Muslim. What I did like about this book was that it dealt with such an important topic. I really think that it's very important to talk about the culture and about all the prejudice that still exists in people's minds, and I think that it's especially important with all the refugees coming here to Germany, and with people who are actually really afraid of Islam. And I think that it's very important to have books like this that talk about it and that make you think about this topic. However, I didn't think that this was really well done because first off, I didn't really enjoy the writing style at all, and secondly, I thought that all the characters were very immature. Like 16-year-old Melina, I don't know, she more acted like she was 13 at some times, and I didn't really like that. And I also just thought that, you know, it was not that well done as it could have been. I didn't like that Melina started to completely only live for her religion at some point. It didn't really seem realistic to me. Like, she's actually losing friends because of her new faith, and she doesn't really care because she has her religion now and she has Allah and she doesn't need her friends anymore, and I just thought that it was really sad and not very well done. So I wish I would have enjoyed this book more, but sadly I didn't, and I think I ended up rating this one 2.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was the children's book, and that is The House at Pooh Corner by A.A. Milne, and I really loved this book. It's obviously about Winnie the Pooh and all the other characters that have to do with him, and I absolutely loved this book. When I read the first one, Winnie the Pooh, I didn't really love it. I didn't really get why it was so great. I only rated it 3 stars, I think, but for this one I absolutely loved it. I'm totally in love with the characters. I love Eeyore more than anyone, and it's just such a cute and great book, and I totally want to read it to my children one day. I just think that it's so cute, and it deals with Christopher Robin, who always goes in this imaginary place where he plays with his toys and imagines that they're real and that they're having adventures when he's not around, and then at some point he starts going to school and he is less around, and at some point he says that he can't really come anymore because he can't do nothing anymore like he used to do for all of his childhood and like he loved to do, and it's just really sad actually, because this part of his childhood where he could just do whatever he wanted doesn't really exist anymore, and he can't just go and spend all his time with Winnie and the others, and it was really sad. But I absolutely adored this book. I thought it was so very cute, and I actually rated it 4.75 or 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Another Day by David Levithan. Now this one is basically the sequel to Every Day by David Levithan, but it doesn't really start where Every Day ends, but it tells the events from Every Day once again, but from another point of view. So these books are about A, who's a person, and they don't really have a gender or a body because they change bodies every day. So one day they will be a girl, and then they will be a guy, and it just changes, and it's so interesting to read about, and I absolutely loved Every Day. So A falls in love with this girl called Rhiannon, and it's really hard because they change bodies every day and they can't really be with Rhiannon like they would love to. And basically what happens is that A wakes up in the body of Rhiannon's boyfriend, and A totally falls in love with her, and it goes on from there. And I actually really enjoyed this book. It's told from Rhiannon's point of view, and I like that it has been a while since I read Every Day, because I guess if you read them cover to cover, that they will be a bit repetitive because everything that happens in here you've already read about. So I think you need to enjoy this whole aspect of having a story be told from another point of view again. I had forgotten quite a few things that happened, and I really enjoyed just being back in the story. However, I liked Every Day more because you could see more of all the different life stories, while this was just Rhiannon's point of view. It was a bit boring. I really liked seeing everything through her eyes because she is in an abusive relationship with her boyfriend, and it's just very sad to see what she feels and how she feels around her boyfriend, who's really being very mean to her, and how she just always justifies his behavior, and it was very sad and emotional to read. And I can totally recommend this one for fans of Every Day, and I would recommend Every Day by David Levithan for absolutely everyone because it's one of my all-time favorite books. Overall, this one was not as good as the first one, but I still liked it. I can't wait for the actual sequel that will tell us what happens after the end of this. It is supposed to come out at some point, and I'm very excited for it. So overall, I gave Another Day 3.75 out of 5 stars, and it was still pretty good. The last book I read was I'll Give You the Sun by Johnny Nelson. I read this one for BookTube Recommends because my friend Vada, who is i.reads at Instagram, she recommended me this book, and she has recommended it to me for over a year now, and I finally got to it, and I absolutely loved it so much. I listened to it an audiobook, and she actually listened along with me, and we talked about what we liked and what I thought about it, and it was so much fun. So thank you for that experience, Vera. I really like this book. It is about two twins who are called Judy and Noah, and it's about their lives. The entire book is split up in two different point of views. One of them is from Noah when the twins are 14, and the other one is from Jude when she is 16. And what happens is that there's a tragedy in their family that just changes their entire life. I don't want to give too much away, so that's pretty much all I'm gonna say, but it's really, really beautiful, and it has to do with art because both the twins are really into art, especially Noah. From a very young age he has always been an artist, but Judy is too. She likes to create stuff as well, but Noah is just, he's never been normal. He's always considered weird and different, and he's also struggling to find his place in life because he is gay but he hasn't come out and he doesn't know how to tell anyone what he feels. And they are both trying to get into art college when the tragedy happens, and it's just so beautiful. I love the writing style, I love the story, I love the characters. I'm very glad I finally read it, and I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars, and I would totally recommend you all to read this. So those are all the books that I read in March. I'm pretty happy with it, considering that it was my month of exams and it was very stressful. I'm glad that I still got to read all these books. Please leave me in the comments what you read in March, or if you have read any of these books, tell me what you think of them. Thank you so much for watching. I will hopefully see you again very soon. I'm actually trying to upload more regularly and have like 2 videos a week up, so we'll see how that goes. I hope to see you again soon, and goodbye!